and welcome to another Thursday live stream that almost never happened. Um, so, to give you a bit of background, today is obviously Thursday, July 7, and tomorrow, Mrs. 88 and I fly off to Memphis to experience Elvis Presley. So, the trip, whilst I am not in any way, shape, or form afraid of flying, the whole process is extremely stressful for me, and I am just riddled with anxiety right now. And I almost didn't want to do this stream, but I did get a number of messages asking, "Hey, are you doing a stream?" So I felt, you know what, let's do one. And this will be a first in a long while, whereby um, Gatorade. I but I did swallow a few jars of ale previously just to get loosened up, because I don't know why I get so bloody nervous doing these things, and my stress levels were already through the roof with this trip and everything. But we're here, and I apologize for having no real set schedule for this. I did say last week we would discuss the music we heard as kids in the 80s, and we may well do that, but I don't have any preparation. I wanted to have a whole schedule of songs I wanted to talk about, so we can maybe do that another time. But first things first, I'm going to catch up with the chat, and then maybe someone can suggest something you want to talk about. I do have one thing to talk about that came via an email from the Big Bad Toy Store. We'll get to that shortly, but introductions first. So EMS3 Recombination asked, is it an Elvis theme? Not necessarily. I just put the Elvis silhouette on the thumbnail because, like I said, tomorrow is the big day. And you know what? On that subject, this is such a sad story I have to share with you all. I don't know if Mrs. 88 is watching this yet, but this morning we're walking on her way to work, and we're sitting down with our Dunkin' Donuts coffee. And I said to her, "What are you most looking forward to at Graceland?" And I'm expecting her to say, "Oh, I want to see Elvis's comeback 68 special leathers, or maybe one of the jumpsuits, or just standing inside Elvis's house." She said, "I'm most looking forward to you being happy and relaxed." And that really hit me hard, because it just goes to show you how much crap she puts up with me, that I'm, always, well, not always, but more often than not, I'm not in a great mood. And that really upset me to hear her say that. So I'm going to be very happy. I'm going to enjoy myself, and hopefully make her realize that I'm not always this sad, depressed person. But that really hit me hard. I thought, my God, of all the things that we're going to see at Graceland, she wants to see me happy and relaxed. Anyway, and I said to him or her, no, but it's because we're off to Graceland tomorrow. So Max Video Entertainment still likes the Pet Shop Boys. Only you were only always on my mind. Yeah, that's good. I think we discussed it briefly last week. See, the trouble with these live streams is that as I keep drinking during the stream, I actually forget what was said the previous week. But I think we discussed that. And I think I made it known that I was not a fan of UB40 covering. Which one did they cover? Someone can remind me. My God, I've had a few jars, like I said, and already I'm forgetful. Hi, Jim. And there we go. Hi, Jim. Tree Theodore, great supporter of this channel. And I said hello back to him. So Andrew says, hello, everyone. Afternoon, everyone. Sorry. Yes, afternoon indeed. 1980s and Star Wars guy. Hello there. Good to see you, sir. Gerard O'Connor. What's up, dudes? What's up indeed? Ben. Hello, Ben. I'm glad you made it. And Blake is here. Hi. Good to see you as well, Blake. Brian. Hello from Liverpool. Good to see you too. Now, this is going to be awkward. I'm not entirely sure if the next comment is from Liverpool, but it might be. But please don't quote me on that. And if I'm wrong, do correct me, but there's only one Kenobi. What's up, Dean? What's up, sir? And here he is, Monkey Boy's Toys. Good day, everybody, indeed. That's really unselfish and great on her. Yes, it is very unselfish, but it makes me think, what am I doing to this poor woman with the way my demeanor tends to be? It's awful. The legend that is Monkey Boy's Toys, indeed. Ben says hello to Monkey Boy. Ah, Chris, good to see you, Chris. Hey, Dean, great to join, mate. Stan Solo, indeed. Yes. Everyone go check out Stan Solo Creations. I'm not sure if your Etsy is still on holiday or not, but if you're in America, I think John Kelly can sort you out with some amazing stuff. Hey there to Tree. Dean, if you can't remember what you said last week, you said you owed me a tenner. Awesome. Fantastic. No, fantastic. Only one can be. Sorry, man, that was a Scottish flag I just posted there. And as ever on YouTube, it comes up black. Same with the George Cross. BS, woke bullshit and all that. Outrageous. Yeah, what the hell? So you can't fly your national flags on the Facebook anymore. That's pretty sad. Ben saying hi to Chris, and Chris acknowledging that. So we're caught up. Now, I don't know how many of you good people are fans of Elvis Presley or not, but let me tell you this. We went to see the movie last week, and I'll be honest, it was kind of a Kenobi experience for me in that, because I knew the whole story, nothing about the movie came as a surprise to me. However, the way it was done was absolutely fantastic. Everything was spot on and extremely moving. So whether you're a fan or not, I highly recommend this movie. And the funny thing was, this was my first time sat in a movie theater since the Rise of Skywalker at the same theater here in Brooklyn. And I certainly had a much better experience with the Elvis movie than I did with the Rise of Skywalker, put it that way. And the best part was, with it being like a small, locally owned theater, the tickets were like $11, which I thought was not at all bad. Because I do remember years ago, I mean, we're talking at least 5 years now, seeing movies in Manhattan and those costing, $18, $19. So it was good value for money, I thought. But as I said on the thumbnail of this live stream, I'm completely unprepared. I have no topics in mind, and the chat is completely dried up, which is a bit unfortunate, because I probably won't be as entertaining as I normally am, because I cannot afford to be hungover tomorrow, and I've done my drinking for the day. That's long finished. So I'm on a slight buzz, but nothing too much. So don't expect the usual outrageous behavior from me in this live stream. So to go off topic quickly, I got an email, I think it was, Tuesday, from Big Bad Toy Store, and it said, because you have an interest in Batman 66, here's an item for pre-order that you might like. And they shared an image of the communicator that Batman and Robin used to use. And I thought, yes, that is indeed rather interesting. So I clicked on the link. Hang on. I'll get back to this story in 1 second. So Monkey Boy is saying the chat stopped. Yeah, it's picked up again. I don't know what happened there. Blake says, great Batman collection. Just seen the BBTS Batman Classic TV series Bat Radio, the 1-to-1 scale prop. That's exactly what I'm going to talk about in 1 second. Can't Help Falling in Love with You is a beautiful song to play. Oh, yeah, absolutely. This is good. It's picked up again. Maybe there was a lull in the connection. How much stuff have you got left to get ready for tomorrow? I think it's just my carry-on stuff. I'm looking at it right now. I've got GoPro, 4 batteries, GoPro battery charger. I'm bringing my bottle opener, my Hibernian FC bottle opener, because I know that room service deliver buckets of beer, which is really sad that I'm bringing a bottle opener for that. Notepad, power banks, because believe it or not, the plane doesn't have any charging. It's like a 3-hour flight from New York to Memphis, and there's no charging on the plane. And, you know, bits and pieces. Got that all to pack up. So yes, excuse me, just about to ask if you'll buy that. Okay, we'll get to that. Monkey Boy says, yes, and we're back. We are. Excuse me. Do you own a Corgi 66 Batmobile? For me, I own 2, one of which being my dad when he was a kid. Well, I have one that's in a state of disrepair, but I have the parts to fix it. I have, I think, I have 3 of the Corgi Juniors, but that is one of the things that I really want to get a new one of if I can, but my God, are they expensive. $250. Yeah. Oh, you've taken my punchline, Blake. Again, we'll get to that. Gremlins on the interwebs. Yeah, that was a bit strange, wasn't it? I thought maybe people had just lost interest. But anyway, I hope you packed some spare pants so you can crap. But yeah, I brought 1 extra pair of pants, underwear, socks, just in case I have an accident. I don't mean that kind of accident. I mean like spilling something on me. I don't shit myself these days. I haven't done so for... Well, okay, technically I did shit myself back in January of 2019, but I did have extreme food poisoning. And this was in Thailand, and of course it was Indian food of all things. I had extreme food poisoning to the point where I was almost hospitalized. Anyway, after I think 2 days of suffering, I thought I was done with it. And I got out of bed, I stood up, and I thought, let's just test this. And I pushed a fart, and lo and behold, I was not over the worst of it yet. But I don't shit myself anymore. All right. Love these Thursday live streams, Dean. Thanks. Hi to the chat. Oh, thank you, Nick. Jumpsuit. Funny story about jumpsuit. So I've since discovered that Elvis and I are the exact same height. And when he died, he was certified as being obese. So, but sadly, he's only about, I think, if I'm right in saying this, he's about 15 to 20 pounds heavier than I currently am. So technically, I could fit into those jumpsuits. Hi. It's Brian from Liverpool, big Elvis fan and big fan of your channel. Seen the Elvis film last Saturday. Will you be filming? Absolutely, yes. I've got the GoPro camera to do that. Now, my understanding is we cannot film inside the Graceland mansion. We can film everything else, and we're staying at the guest house at Graceland, so it's going to be a whole thing. And one of the things I'm most looking forward to is within the hotel, they do a cocktail called the King, which is based on the Elvis sandwich. So apparently it's Crown Royal, peanut butter flavored whiskey, banana liqueur, and cream. So that is something I'm very much looking forward to. So you will see me drinking that on camera, hopefully. If not for Elvis, there would be no Beatles or Stones, and later Duran Duran. They were inspired by the... Oh, absolutely. Yep. Anthony is here. Good to see you, Anthony. Always take backup. Danger farts. Well, no, I mean, I'm not... Yeah, like I said, it was food poisoning, and only one says, what, you sharted? Yeah, I did. Absolutely did. It was very embarrassing. We had rented this nice apartment in Bangkok. And I remember clear as day, after being stuck in bed for 2 days, and I got out of bed, and I said to Mrs. 88, you know what? I think I'm okay. And I felt the gas was building, pushed it out, and oh, I'm not okay. And yes, I soiled myself. But that was, of course, food poisoning. That doesn't happen under normal circumstances. Don't worry, Dean. I shat myself in bed last year. It too was a fart that had more content than anticipated. Well, yeah, but did you have food poisoning? At least I had an excuse. Great deal. Looking forward to. Okay, thanks, Brian. I've got to go now. See you. Okay. Well, thank you for stopping by. Monkey Boy content, yes. If not for Chuck Berry, don't you mean? Yeah. That's the thing, that it does show you in the movie how Elvis was very much inspired by those black rock and roll artists, which was, at least it gave them their fair shout out, because I think a lot of people think Elvis invented rock and roll. He certainly did not. The thumbnail brought me here. Massive Elvis fan. Awesome. Well, hopefully you watch the videos coming. I mean, it won't be till next week, obviously. I'll maybe post on Twitter photos and things, and maybe some videos. But we'll get back to Elvis. But in the meantime, I'm going to go back to the story I began telling about the email from Big Bad Toy Store. So, excuse me, email saying, based on your previous interests, this might be of interest to you. I thought, what is it? And it said, Batman 66, blah, blah, blah. I thought, yep, count me in. And then I jumped to the link, which I will now share. If I can do this. Yep. So I jumped to the link and I'm presented with this, which is the classic TV series Bat Radio 1-to-1 scale prop replica. And I don't see the price just yet. I'm looking at it thinking, yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that. Looks nice. Nice sort of simple design. It's got a light. It has sound. There's the battery compartment. And I'm thinking, okay, I'll take this. And I turn to my right and I see pre-order $250 with a $25 non-refundable down payment. So if you were to pre-order and you decide to change your mind, you're going to lose $25. This is absolutely outrageous. And it goes on to say how the originals in the TV show were made from wood, and they had a couple of lights inserted. But this one, product features made of plastic, based on the 1966 Batman TV show, officially licensed, 9-volt battery required for light and sound effects, not included. So you spend $250 and you still have to buy your own damn battery. So upon seeing that price tag, I was like, hell no. That is an absolute insult. I mean, that is something that I remember buying Playmates Star Trek prop replicas for what? We're talking, this was late 1990s. I think £25 got me a replica tricorder. And for them to be charging $250 for this is just absolutely insane. And if not, somewhat disgusting. So, nope, I will not be giving them any money for this. That is an absolute insult, in my opinion. So let me know what you think. Am I right that that is a disgusting price to charge for something like that? I don't even know what the sounds are going to be like, but it's going to be like one flashing light and probably a couple of sound effects. In my opinion, in this day and age, that should be no more than, what, $50 at most? Even that's too much. Monkey Boy. My excuse was that I have lactose intolerance and had ingested the wrong type of cheese. Okay, you had an excuse, which is fair enough. Chuck Berry might have something to say about who influenced who. Yeah, exactly. Anthony's saying hey to Monkey Boy. Oh, there she is, Mrs. 88. Thank you, Monkey Boy. And Ben, have a great trip. Oh, thank you, Ben. If I were to get one small Hot Wheels sized Batmobile with Batman and Robin sitting in it, and a large Batmobile with figures that can sit in it, which one would you recommend? The large one that I got recently which is Hot Wheels Elite. So if you were searching on eBay, it's Hot Wheels Elite, and there are two different ones. There's one without figures that, believe it or not, is more expensive because it has more opening compartments and things. So the one I got has figures. You know what? Maybe if I do a quick off-screen search and then can share the screen, I can show you in more detail what I'm talking about. Let's see. Of course, they have all the different Batmobiles. I need to specify 66. And it is, of course, a 1/18th scale. Okay, we're in business, I think. So if I can find one, if I can find the one that I got, which has the figures, which is the one that I recommend. Actually, I'm not seeing that. That's interesting. And of course, these are all dollar one, because I'm using ebay.com. You, of course, will go to ebay.co.uk, I believe. My God, these are expensive. Let me just find one to quickly look at. There's one for $140. So let me share this, and I can show you the one that I would recommend as a really good Batmobile. So this one, hang on. This one, okay. This is the one that is similar to the one that I just got with the two figures, but this one has more open. So this one, the hood opens up, the trunk opens up, and it's slightly more detailed, but that is as good as you're going to find for a replica of the Barris Batmobile. That is absolutely stunning, highly detailed, and that's a bit of paint flaw there actually, but yeah. So that's, they call it the Elite series. So if you were looking for the ultimate Batmobile, that is what I would suggest. Although that one is rather pricey. I got the one I got with the two figures, I got on an auction for a very good price. Coughlin's Law, evening all. That radio is only hand-sized. Whoever priced it up needs shooting up the arse. Exactly. There's no way that is a $250 item. Evening all from Gashead Steve. Good to see you. Anthony, be safe traveling. If you need anything, let me know. I'll be around. Oh, thanks, Anthony. Although I did look at the weather forecast, and my God, it's going to be hot. Let me just, I'll do it in Fahrenheit and then Celsius. So right now, Memphis is 98 degrees, but with humidity, it's feeling like 110. And it turns out that tomorrow is going to be 102. So we have to assume that's going to be what, feeling like 115, I guess. Centigrade or Celsius for everyone else. So Memphis currently 37, feeling like 43. So I assume tomorrow is going to be 39, feeling like what, 45 maybe? So yes, rather hot to say the least. So, but I am used to the heat now. Oh, thank you. Yes, very kind for these travel wishes. Tree is saying hi to Monkey Boy and Ben. Awesome. Wishing everyone have a great time. Well, they're not going. We're going. Why are you? Well, wishing they have a good life or whatever. Yeah. I get what you're saying. Hey, TT dude. So here we go. I ate a massive bag of peanuts at work one day, halfway home and needed to shit bad. Was walking up the road like Charlie Chaplin, had to beg a doctor's surgery to let me in and unload. Embarrassing. Yeah, I think the term is walking from the knees down, which I have had to do a few times. Thank you. Had the original Corgi Batman with the Batman and Robin figures included. Yep, had them. And I was very fortunate as a kid because one Christmas, and I'm guessing 79 or 80, I got a Batmobile on its own, but I also got the 3-pack with the Batmobile, the Batboat and trailer, and the Batcopter. And obviously the Batcopter had Batman encased inside the copter cockpit. But I think you had to move the Batman and Robin figures from the Batmobile into the Batboat. And that was a great way of having kids lose them. Fortunately, I did not. However, one of the 2 Batmobiles I played with in a sand pit, and it just filled up with sand. And for the rest of its existence, it was just covered in sand. Wow, what a mess that was. Still have it somewhere. Don't know what it's worth. Well, if it's in mint condition, it's worth a lot of money. I am seeing the 3-packs go. So they've been opened. So these are not sealed. These are opened 3-packs in good condition. $1,200, $1,300. It's a high value item. Do they sell magical aerosol spray in the US? That stuff is amazing in the heat. I've not heard of Magical, but I do remember seeing, what's that bottled water company? Evian. Evian do a spray that you keep in the fridge and give it a little scoosh. It's rather nice. I'm thirsty as hell. So that's the chat dried up again. So on that basis, this will be a much more abbreviated stream than normal. We'll get back to normal next week. But in the meantime, I'll open the floor to any questions anyone may have. I'm totally unprepared for this. Like I said, my intention was to discuss the songs we enjoyed as kids in the 80s, or not necessarily enjoyed, but remembered. And I was going to have a whole list of the things that I do remember hearing as a kid. One of which I hinted at on Twitter following last week's stream, which was Dr. Hook, When You're in Love with a Beautiful Woman. That's a song that when I hear today, it takes me right back to being a kid in like 1980, 81. And I would love to travel back in time and listen to that again. Soda Cauldron has a point here. The price of that communicator is ridiculous. It really is. It's obscene. And in fact, there was another one that came out at Christmas time last year that had me tempted until I saw the price, and that was a classic Star Trek communicator that said it was Bluetooth, so it could be used as a hands-free, or not necessarily a hands-free, more like a hands-full for your normal cell phone. Let me try and find that quickly. I'm trying to think what I should look up. Let me just do a quick Google. If I do Bluetooth, God damn it. Bluetooth Star Trek communicator. That's it there. How much is it? This is a company called Wand Company. And here we go. It's on Amazon. So let me share this one quickly. Share. I am not on good form today. I do apologize. Share screen. Right, check out this one. Here we go. So this is a Bluetooth Star Trek communicator that you can link up to your phone and use for phone calls. $230. Come on. I mean, it looks, let me see. It does look nice. It really does. It's exactly as it was on the TV show. But $230 for that is just taking the piss. I mean, it's got a belt, holder. Yeah, you could play the part of Captain Kirk and all that, but not for $230. I don't know what these companies are thinking. Although I guess they are thinking that people who are fans of these franchises are old enough to have enough money to waste. Oh, Gerard says, thoughts on the king marrying a minor? Well, he didn't he wait till she was 16? I mean, didn't they? Well, when they met, she was definitely she was 14, I believe, when they met, which is rather strange. But yeah, royalty and all that. Yeah, that's one of the black marks against them for sure. Such a great time for music. Yes, it was. Hard to narrow down to favorites. It certainly is. The Police have got to be in there. Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely remember the Police. I think we have to absolutely do a live stream about the music that we heard as kids in the 80s. Furthermore, I had my intention for last year's that famous online convention. My suggestion was to do a stream talking about how the term 80s music is completely redundant because the 80s was probably the most diverse decade of music there ever was, but that wasn't taken up. So I'm going to do it myself, but I will require some planning and some hand-picked guests for that, because I think it's important to discuss just how much different music we were exposed to in the 80s. Michael Jackson's Bad album landed at exactly the right time to blow my 10-year-old mind. Yeah. Although I was exposed to Thriller because my mum and dad listened to Thriller a lot in the car. So I know all those songs off by heart. I was going to mention that actually when I do this music live stream. And my parents had odd choices. They had Queen's Greatest Hits, Michael Jackson's Bad, Elton John's, I think it was called Too Low for Zero. And there was another one. It was Shack Attack. Was that a band that did sort of instrumental stuff, possibly? That and a lot of Barry Manilow and Johnny Mathis. But again, we'll discuss it more in a dedicated stream. So, from the original Batman show, who made your favorite cameo? Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. I liked seeing Joan Collins, but it was quite cool seeing Sammy Davis Jr. open the windows in one of the episodes. My bro had life-size Michael Jackson Bad poster on his wall. He also loved Bros. Well, Bros, again, maybe I'll do a video on my 80s musical journey, because Bros did feature, but not for the reasons you're thinking. It was, 1988? I think it was a school trip to the French Alps. What's that place called? Mont Blanc or something? Anyway, long bus ride from Scotland to the French Alps on the Italian border. And Bros were all the rage. So that tape was constantly played on that bus trip. But I wasn't necessarily listening to the music. I was watching all the girls love it. I thought, they love Bros. So if I get into Bros, maybe they'll fancy me. So upon returning from that school trip, I had my dad drive me out to a place called Sava Centre in Edinburgh. It was like a shopping mall. Went to I guess it was Our Price was the record store, and bought Bros Push on tape. And I listened to it when I got back home and thought, my God, I really don't like this music, but if the girls know I have it, maybe they'll like me. Well, that never quite happened, so there you go. Max Video says, did you get a chance to see my Batman Adam West versus Superman Christopher Reeve link I sent? Oh, where did you send it? I don't recall seeing that, but if you can let me know where you sent it, I can double check. Two music videos that fascinated me as a kid: Michael Jackson's Thriller and Aha, Take On Me. Yeah, those were like revolutionary videos of the decade. Ah, Luke, good to see you, Luke. Iron Maiden, Number of the Beast is still one of my favorite albums today. Absolutely. It really is. I was considering an idea for a video which was going to be the top 10 Iron Maiden songs from the 80s, and I just do not think it's possible to isolate just 10, but maybe I'll try. I saw Altered Images and Adam and Ant earlier this year. Been on a run of 80s bands: Human League, China Crisis, Then Jericho, Midure, Toya. Wow, fantastic. Altered Images, that they were definitely Scottish, right? And that was the female. What the hell was her name? Please do let me know. Remember, girls had Bros jeans with Bros printed on the thighs. I just remember the Grolsch bottle caps on their shoes. Which I have a story about that, but I'm going to save it for the dedicated video. Hi everyone, and say hi. Everyone say hi to Luke. Who was your first live gig, and which was your favorite? My first was Marilyn Manson. My favorite was Pantera. First ever gig I went to was Megadeth, and it was October of 1992 at the Edinburgh Playhouse. And there were two opening acts. The first opening act was this completely unknown band called Alice in Chains. And then the second band was the Scottish rockers, The Almighty. And then Megadeth during their Rust in Peace tour. Fantastic. What an exposure for my very first concert. My favorite, it's hard to say because there are different reasons for different ones being special. It's easy to say the last one I went to back in February, the Ghost and Volbeat twin headline show, was fantastic. But favorite, possibly the first time I ever saw Kiss here in America, because I'd always enjoyed Kiss, but I don't think, well, obviously I know for a fact I would never have had a chance in the UK to have seen them with the full costumes and makeup. So to see that for the first time was mind-blowing. Truly was. Tree saying hi to Luke. Hey, Luke. Next up, Billy Idol and the Go-Go's with Belinda Carlisle and Jane Weedlin. I don't know who Jane Weedlin is. I do know Belinda Carlisle. Hey there. Gotta go. Enjoy Graceland. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for stopping by. Claire Grogan, that was it for Altered Images. She was Kochanski in Red Dwarf. Claire Grogan, that's the name. Very tough, that one, Dean. As long as Hallowed Be Thy Name is number one, after that, there's so many you can choose. You see, this is the problem, because I don't like the Hallowed Be Thy Name on the Number of the Beast album. I just do not like the drumming. It's too slow. Similarly, one of my favorite all-time songs is Phantom of the Opera, and the version on the first album is not great, whereas the live versions are fantastic. So it's going to be extremely difficult to do a top 10. So there you go. Always makes me laugh how Bros was meant to be bros, as in brothers, but the fans read it as Bros. Yeah. And also as well, like brothers, okay, they were brothers, but then you had the bass player, the Scottish guy. What was he? Craig Logan? He was always the third wheel. Felt bad for him actually. Because all the girls fancied the twins. He was kind of left aside. And also as well, when you listen to the album, those are all sequenced bass lines. He did not play anything. In fact, same with the drums. There's no way, I forget which one is which. There's Matt and Luke Goss. Someone might know this more. I think was Matt Goss the singer and Luke Goss the drummer, but they did not play anything on those albums. That is for sure. Also, Claire Grogan was on Gregory's Girl. Yes, that's it. That's where I remembered her. Altered Images. Snap. Oh, hi, Justin. Hey, Dean. My first show was Pantera, Soulfly, and Morbid Angel. Okay. I forget. I know that I sent you a package. I forget where you live, but I saw that tour. I actually traveled from Scotland to Los Angeles, and I saw that very tour at it was in Universal Studios. Was that what the hell was the place called? It was something, was it just the Universal Amphitheater? But yes, I saw that very tour. And the one I saw during Morbid Angel, in fact, it was Nothing Face, Morbid Angel, Soulfly, and Pantera. And during Morbid Angel, Phil Anselmo ran out to sing vocals with Morbid Angel. Yep, that was 2001, I think. That was fantastic. REM for you. What a great time. Now, REM, I'm trying to think. Okay, please comment below. Do they have a song about going back to Rockville? I can bloody search this myself. This is important, actually. Let me see. REM Rockville. Oh, yep, there we go. They have a song called Don't Go Back to Rockville. Let me explain. So I was on a trip from Scotland to Boston. I'm guessing 2000. This would have been possibly fall of 2001. And I stayed at this hostel. And some of the guys there, we were out to this bar eating and drinking. And this song came on the music system. I didn't know who it was, but the lyrics kept saying, "Don't go back to Rockville." I'm thinking, what the hell is this? Because my address in Scotland was Rockville Terrace. And this song was saying, "Don't go back to Rockville." I thought, my God, that's profound. Honest story, true story. So that song means a lot to me, actually. So yeah. Claire Grogan is the singer from Altered Images. She was in Gregory's Girl and the original Kachansky and Red Dwarf. Still hot. I've not looked at her for a long time, but yeah, she was a cutie back then. Jane Wielden had a hit with Rush Hour and was Joan of Arc in Bill and Ted. Okay. My favorite childhood 80s music video was Jackson 5, Can You Feel It? Awesome imagery and vibe to a 5-year-old me. Is that the one that had like the sort of shooting out laser things from their head? Possibly. Genesis, Land of Confusion was a great 80s track. Oh yeah. Every Iron Maiden album prior to Blaze Bayley was amazing. Yep, exactly. I think for me, if you take the two Blaze Bayley albums, you can make one really good album from those songs and then sort of discard the rest. One of the Goss brothers was in Blade 2. That's right. He became a Hollywood guy. And it's funny because obviously they're twins, so they have the exact same genetics. One of them embraced his baldness and just shaved the rest off. The other one got plugs, and it's so obvious. And they have that sort of, they just look so fake. I don't know if it's like Botox and whatnot, but and those sort of sculpted eyebrows, but they look incredibly fake. Disturbed cover was also cool. A fun fact, Luke Goss played the main bad guy in the movie Blade 2 along with Wesley Snipes. So Luke Goss was the drummer then, which means Matt Boss was the singer. And Justin confirms it was indeed the Real Steel tour. Yes, it was 2001. Yep, that was just... And also as well, the funny thing was, this was on the Reinventing the Steel tour. I'd seen them in Glasgow, Scotland in 2000, and Phil Anselmo was a mess, and they only played, I think, 11 songs in Glasgow. And I was a bit disappointed, but when I saw them in LA on the same tour, they played about 18 songs. It was just fantastic. Coughlin's Law. My first was Tapau. Awesome. Actually, I think Tapau opened for Status Quo when I was still living in Scotland, because I do like Status Quo. And we went to Glasgow to see the Quo, and yeah, Tapau was one of the opening acts, or was the opening act. Yeah, I couldn't watch that movie without thinking about When Will I Be Famous? Totally ruined the movie. So did we establish that Luke Goss is the bald drummer? His brother Matt is the hair-plugged singer. So there we go. That's it, complete with Star Wars sound effects. Napalm Death was my first live gig. I wasn't ready for that mosh pit. Now, was that in the... What was his name? Lee Dorian. Was he the singer, or was Barney Greenway the singer by that point? Metallica, supported by Warrior Soul, was my first gig. I remember the name Warrior Soul, but I don't remember any of their music. Warrior Soul. There are, but... And then, of course, my musical journey started back in 1981 with Adam and the Ants. And I have never seen Adam Ant live, believe it or not. He's played a number of times here in New York, and I don't know why I've just not gone. Because he did one tour a few years back that was strictly a greatest hits tour that I should really have gone to, and I didn't, which was rather foolish of me. So with that being said, the bands that I've not seen that I want to see would be Adam Ant. I've never seen AC/DC, believe it or not. That's probably it. Everything else I think I've seen that I want to have seen, would like to have seen. Haha. Elvis Costello was your first. Wow. What was his, I was going to say hit? Was it Oliver's Army? Was that the one that was always on Top of the Pops? You don't expect someone called Barney to have a vocal like that. No, you don't. No, not at all. Barney, by the time I saw them in '94, absolutely brutal. Yeah, I was exposed to Napalm Death in... It must have been 1989 when, during the Christmas period, the BBC ran a series of heavy metal shows, one of which was an expose on Napalm Death. And I think that was combined with a show about Slayer. They also did one on Metallica. They broadcast a Guns N' Roses show from the Ritz, and they also did a Def Leppard show and they did The Decline of Western Civilization Part 2. So this was like 5 nights in a row. The BBC gave us some pretty damn good heavy metal shows. And that's where I first saw Napalm Death. And I remember on that show, aside from the interviews, they showed us Scum, Deceiver, and I forget the other two. I mean, they were so short anyway, but that was how I discovered Napalm Death. Adamant is on tour this year. Okay. I'll need to look into that just to check it off my list. Funnily enough, amongst all the wacky memorabilia I've got framed on the walls, I did buy a copy of Prince Charming on vinyl with the intention of getting it signed at some point. So who knows? Maybe. Yeah, Oliver's Army. It's controversial now. Yeah. Napalm Death hold the record for the shortest song. Yeah. My first concert was Yes during the reunion tour. Great mix of classic and 80s tunes. Awesome. I'm trying to think which is the classic band I saw. I was dragged along to a show in Pennsylvania a number of years ago. I think it was Journey, supported by Heart, and it was pretty damn good, actually. Thoroughly enjoyed that. Morphin Martian saw Metallica 96 at the Birmingham NEC. My best gig was Gary Newman with the Scaparis Orchestra at Birmingham Symphony Hall. Gary Newman is very much someone that I remember seeing on Top of the Pops as a kid, not quite knowing if he was human or not. He just had that very odd look about him. And I think it's hilarious. There's one Top of the Pops clip. So obviously back then, Gary Newman tried to be extremely straight-faced. And there's one Top of the Pops appearance where he cracks a smile and he tries to hide it, but the camera catches it. It's awesome. I would love to see that again. Dean just literally covered a Napalm Death song live on air, copyright strike. Yeah, Gary Newman's stuff it's very industrial, quite heavy as well, actually. I have actually watched a few of his live videos on YouTube recently. Quite interesting. Yeah, there's something up with the chat. It went from having nothing to suddenly jumping. Coglin's Law says Prince Charming was the first LP I bought. Diamond Smiles by the Boomtown Rats. Oh yeah, I remember Boomtown Rats. But yeah, Prince Charming was my first ever acquisition. I got it for Christmas on tape in Christmas of 1981. It must have been. Newman set the blueprint for the 80s. He wasn't he like doing the synth pop thing before most folks were doing it. Michael saw Morrissey at the Hydro in Glasgow. Great show, but he banned all meat products at the venue. But then, what did they sell at the venue? Like hot dogs and things and hamburgers, I guess. Yeah, certainly at the last show I went to, again, Volbeat and Ghost as joint headliners in the Prudential Center, Newark, New Jersey. The food was awful. We were hungry, so we went there, and all they had was like fried bar food. And I think it was like chicken tenders and French fries and a hamburger and French fries, and everything was bone dry. It was almost inedible. It was expensive as well. I added a link in the comments to your excellent Batman 66 collection video. My first gig or show, as it were, was Slade in a rough pub in '85. Wow. Come Feel the Noise. Although Slade is going to be always associated with the Christmas number, which I have to listen to many times at Christmas. Depeche Mode with Jesus and the Mary Chain and Nitzer Ebb Toronto, Canada, 1990. I'm familiar with Jesus and the Mary Chain. Nitzer's Ebb, not quite so much. Wow, caught up again. But so just to sort of go over again what's happening from tomorrow onwards. So obviously off to Graceland. And I have to do videos for that. And I know there's going to be comments saying, what does Elvis have to do with the 80s? Well, it has a lot to do with my 80s. Because when I was a young lad, my grandma would play me Elvis and Johnny Cash records. And it always stuck with me. And the funny part is the Johnny Cash that she would play, she had the cassette of Live from Folsom Prison. And there are a number of beeps where he says, you know, bad words. And they always told me that he was saying the word bum. And so whenever I heard the beep, I would laugh hysterically, of course. Having listened to them again, it's clearly an F or an SH word that's being said. But listening to Elvis then with my grandma, and to think that I'm going to step into his house on Saturday and see everything firsthand is quite special to me. So without question, this is very much part of my 80s. Now, when I do the video of this, I'm thinking I will have to put a disclaimer at the beginning explaining why this fits into my 80s experience, but I suspect there will be a lot of Elvis fans who want to see everything. So I'm going to have to do it by chapter. So if the Elvis fans want to skip to certain parts, they can do, but hopefully everyone else will stick with it and watch the whole experience from start to finish, including me and Mrs. 88 getting in the taxi here tomorrow off to LaGuardia. And as I said earlier, my nerves are just on edge right now, not because I'm scared of flying, just I get so anxious worrying about what could go wrong. And I'm never really calm until everything is checked in and I can sit at the airport bar and get a few jars down my neck. And then things start to feel a bit better because, right, even now, you know, I'm sobering up now, but I'm extremely nervous. It's a horrible feeling. I really wished I did not have this horrible anxiety that plagues me, but it is what it is. But I'll show you the whole process. And apparently LaGuardia has been updated. I've not been there since, probably 2005. So we'll see what it's like. And it's American Airlines we're on, so we'll see what they have to offer. By all accounts, there's no in-flight entertainment screens on domestic flights. I'm going to bring my reissued Nintendo Game & Watches to play, so keeping it somewhat 80s. I remember going to the first Madstock, the Madness Festival in Finsbury Park. Morissette got bottled off stage and Bad Manners could only sell out a small room in a pub across the road. Bad Manners, now was that Buster Blood Vessel was the main man? He was bald. Did they sing about Dr. Martin Boots? I think they did. Let me know. So Tree saw Pink Floyd at the Berlin Wall was memorable in '89, particularly the East Berliners in the audience. Wow, Pink Floyd. Now I'm trying to think, '89, was that without Roger Waters? Probably. I'm not totally on top with Pink Floyd. I loved any kind of music with pretty girls. So the Bangles, Belinda Carlisle, Bananarama. Hang on, maybe I just had a thing for the letter B. Yeah, Bananarama. I always had a thing for them. And interestingly enough, I looked at them on Twitter, and there's just two of them still, but they do look fantastic for their age. Another awesome gig I went to was Blaze Bayley at Camden Underground in 2008. Small venue where there was no separation between crowd and band. Yeah. Say what you like about Blaze. He puts on a hell of a show. And I I did see him with Iron Maiden. It was very sad to see Iron Maiden play the Glasgow Barrowlands. They should never be playing such a small place, but that's what it was back then. But he gave us all, and it wasn't his fault. He was just the wrong man for the job. But yeah, I did see him as a solo artist. Fantastic. My 80s included Dean Martin, Sam Cooke, and Paddy Riley. So yeah. And bearing in mind, the early 80s, ABBA were still riding high in the pop parade. Disco was still a thing, just. So, like I said earlier, the 80s, I think, is the most diverse decade of music. My grandpa would always play Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, still does 24/7 in his garage. The older I get, the more I appreciate other types of course, absolutely. I think when I was that small boy and my grandma's playing me Johnny Cash and Elvis and all that stuff, I didn't fully appreciate it back then, but as I got older, very much enjoyed it. Ben has corrected me. Yes, Dr. Martin Boots was Alexi Sale. Now, okay, did Alexi Sale and Buster Blood Vessel look similar then, as in big fat bald guys? Alexi Sale, yep. Yeah. So maybe I was close. The Young Ones show in the 80s sang about Dr. Martin Boots. Loved that show. Yeah. I always liked seeing Motorhead on that doing Ace of Spades. Still laughing about pants shitting. Had norovirus 2 weeks ago. My wife to this day doesn't know I shat the bed. How did you keep that from her? Did you do the laundry yourself? Any more mask reviews coming? No, I've not acquired anything mask since when? Oof. Oh, at least a year. But it was suggested that based on people enjoying the Batman collection tour video, I do similar videos with other toy lines. And that being the case, I will do a mask collection type video. I've got I'm missing Boulder Hill, but I've got all the vehicles from waves 1 and 2 and a few from the racing series, none from the split seconds. So I haven't thought about adding to mask in a while. In fact, you know what? I really shouldn't be buying anything else because I have, despite saying I wouldn't earlier this year, I've been spending far too much money on toys. So I need to keep that under control. Bad Manners sang Lip Up Fatty. Buster Blood Vessel used to down an entire jar of pickled onions with a pork pie stuffed in it. Wow. Actually sounds delicious, believe it or not. If you're struggling with top 10 maiden songs of the 80s, how about top 10 TV themes from the 80s? That as well, indeed. Also, the top 10 songs used in commercials. There's so many top 10s. Definitely something I'm going to be looking to do a lot more of. My wife to this day doesn't know I've spent 6,000, I don't know if that's pounds or dollars, on action figures. I feel sick but cannot stop. Dean, help me. I'm the last person to offer help because I too have this compulsion to add to collections that don't really need to be added to. Saw my hero Toots Hibbert in Newcastle shortly before he died. Nice. I hated the 90s. I was all 70s then. From 2004, it's 80s forever. Karen Woodward from Bananarama and Kim Wilde are my favorite 80s pop babes. Now, okay, I need to just confirm which is the one that I fancied as a kid from Bananarama. It was the blonde with the big hair that I fancied. So if I do Karen Wood, was that? Woodwood. Wow. Woodwood. Woodwood. Okay, she's the brunette. Yeah, she is stunning. Which is the other one then? it must be Sarah Dallin, because I know that Siobhan Fahey went on to do, was it Shakespeare's Sister? So let me just do Sarah. Yeah, that's the one I fancied. She still looks good. And she is how old? 60 years old. There you go. Let's see. Robin of Sherwood and Miami Vice need to be on there. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Great themes. I saw Maiden at a warm-up show in a tiny venue in Norwich. They were under the name The Nodding Donkeys. Oh, would that have been circa 1990 by any chance? I have some mask reviews coming up. Shameless plug. Yes, not shameless at all. So, Rachel, check out Monkey Boy's Toys channel. He's been doing a lot of mask stuff. Dean, are you off figures? No, I'm not off. I'm just trying not to spend money I don't have on things I don't necessarily need. You realize you spent too much with an early year release. Have you subsequently found ways to justify this? I'm not sure what that means. Because it seems you haven't stopped. No, none of us ever stop. Hi, Dean. Good to see you. Graceland will be amazing. Enjoy your trip, mate. Well, thank you so much. Is anyone irritated by the revival of Kate Bush running on that hill? My daughter now likes it, which makes me annoyed. Is that normal? No. That's a very good point, actually. And on that very subject, I'm very annoyed by the bloody spoilers. So we love Stranger Things. We really do. And we watched the first episode of part 2 of season 4. In fact, sorry, I tell a lie. Prior to watching the first episode of part 2 of season 4, I was exposed via social media that yes, Metallica, Master of Puppets plays a big part in this show. And I'm like, you bastards, I would like to have just been watching it and been surprised to hear Metallica, but no, all over social media. So we've seen the first part, we've not seen the second part yet, but when watching the first part, I spent the whole time thinking, oh, when will they play Metallica? Although I did see the Peace of Mind cassette, which was kind of cool. But because of these bloody social media folks who cannot wait to share something, I'm now waiting to see Metallica, so it's not going to have the same impact as it really should have, which is rather annoying. Too much on figures. Oh, yeah. Too much on toys, period. I was irritated by Kate Bush the first time round. Yeah, funnily enough, I was kind of, as a small boy, obsessed with Kate Bush. I don't remember what the song was. It wasn't Running Up the Hill, but there was some song of hers that apparently I always used to sing. Probably quite badly, I imagine. Just bought the Robin of Sherwood theme back from my memory banks. Robin, the Hooded Man, I think. Likewise, Stranger Things was spoiled on me in the same fashion. Really enjoyed the episode. It was top. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to enjoy it, obviously, but the fact is that if I'd been watching it with no knowledge and having Metallica be a big part of it, I would have loved it. Now, of course, I'm just watching. I will watch it expecting to see or hear Metallica, which is rather annoying. Alexei Sale was shaven-headed. Also, did Yulo John got a new motor? Hello, John got a new motor. Was that used for a Toshiba commercial? It's got the flattest, squarest tube. That rings a bell. Oh, hang on. Which was then used on the Toshiba advert. Hello, Tosh. Hello, Tosh got a computer. All you need is a bang on the uter. That sounds familiar. Anyone remember the TV show Running Scared, that featured running up that hill as its theme? No, I don't remember that. Stranger Things is very popular and it's great. I'm not annoyed by her as much as social media talking about it before most of the normal world get to watch it within 24 hours of release. Exactly. It was within a day of it coming out, which was what, July 1st. So on July 2nd, all over social media about Metallica. I'm like, you bastards, you just not ruined it, but it's spoiled the surprise. I was obsessed with Kylie. Interesting. I actually wasn't. There was one girl from Home and Away that I liked a lot more, but I forget her name. Was it Sophie, perhaps? Clanad reference, brilliant, Dean. Everyone missed that. Clanad. I love Robin, the Hooded Man. I liked Cloud Busting by Kate Bush. It was sampled in Utah Saints. Something good. I don't know that one. Yep, you're right, Dean. My bad. It's the Hooded Man. Yeah, that was Clanad. I'm trying to remember. Did they have other hits in the charts, or were they like a one-hit wonder with Robin Hood? I don't remember. But yeah, we're drying up again here, which is fine because, like I said, this is not going to be the normal extended stream. This was just very impromptu. When do we think the 80s obsession and culture will stop? We've been lucky, but it's got to end sometime. What comes next? I don't know. It's a good point, actually. And he asks, why is 80s culture now such a focus? Is it because everything was just so bright and colorful back then that in this dreary world we live in, it's something that people like? Or is it because the people in power at movie studios, etc., are of our age and they're just going back to what they remembered? Monkey Boy says the 80s will never stop. Andrew, there's now hundreds of mask collector YouTube vehicles in review. Yeah. Hang on. Rachel says, I saw on Twitter that Are You Being Served is cancelled. Oh, I hope not. I mean, fortunately, I've seen them all, but I do like to go back now and again. That is terrible if that's the case. You know, you cannot judge something from 40 or 50 years ago by today's standards. Just accept it for what it is. And for what it's worth, I found all the comedy hilarious when I watched it. I watched them all again a few years back, thoroughly enjoyed it, as I did with another show that could never be made, which was Love Thy Neighbor, which was an ITV show. I think it was a Tyne Tease with that introduction. They were all on YouTube fairly recently. Hopefully they're still there, but I recommend that one. Very funny. The 80s obsession will end when Gen X dies out. Gen X grew up with it and hold positions of power. Yeah, that's what I think as well. People are in power right now, circa our age. Clanad did the theme to Harry's Game in the late 70s, if I recall correctly. That's how they got the Robin of the Sherwood job. Okay. A year ago, there were hardly any. When nothing has changed in Mask You collection. Yeah, it just seems that Mask has really picked up lately. Actually, that seems to be a deleted comment. I don't know why I read that. Anyway, yeah, Mask has had a bit of a resurgence. And especially when you see the 3 3/4 inch figures that have been showcasing recently. So, and I think there is a playset type thing coming for those figures, which is rather nice. I think a lot of people are frustrated that Mask hasn't been reissued. I am for sure. Yeah. I don't know what the problem is. And this is a price thing because the mechanisms are so intricate, maybe to make them today for an affordable price that would sell is not possible. I don't know. But then again, they do these fancy transformers, so who knows? But So what we at? 1 hour 16. Good Lord, that's flown by. I think I'm going to go a few more minutes and then I will have to end this. Like I said, this was a very sort of impromptu with no real plan in place. I do have a lot to take care of still. Excuse me. So unless there are no further comments, I don't know what's been going on today with the comments. They seem to dry up and then all of a sudden there's a whole ton of them come through. I don't know if it's my connection or just the connection in general. It's rather frustrating. I see one has come through on YouTube. Oh, here we go. There we go. There's a 3 just popped up. Is there any 80s cartoon you recommend? I don't know. I used to enjoy Battle of the Planets, although I didn't necessarily understand what was going on. I just enjoyed the spectacle. But I always enjoyed things like Wacky Races, Dick Dastardly and Muttley. Those were 2 of my favorites. In fact, Wacky Races was very much a school summer holiday cartoon that I used to enjoy watching. So yeah, those are my recommendations. Ben asks, how long are you away? Oh, it's just 3 nights. We'll be back on Monday. What's this? I think the mask molds are now being used to weigh down ships in various harbors. Yeah, that's very sad. Were us 80s and 70s kids the best generation in terms of experiencing culture, like first-gen Star Wars as kids, and so the rise and fall of genres like grunge and our... Absolutely. I maintain, in fact, you can even go deeper and say you had to be born, I'm going to guess like 73 to 78 to really have enjoyed the 80s, because that's when all the cool stuff was, especially Star Wars. Andrew asks, is your holy grail item that you really want but have to sell something in your collection to fund? Ooh. Oh, it's a toss-up, actually. Quite possibly the Corgi 3-pack of Batmobile, Batboat, Batcopter, but in mint condition. That's one. And, a brand new, or as near to new as possible, G1 Jetfire. Again, things I did once own, but no longer do, sadly. Captain Caveman and the Teen Angels. That's another great cartoon, yep. These Thursday Hangouts are great, Dean. This must be your... Yeah, I hope so. I really do hope so. Oh, thank you so much. I'm sure we will. Smiles, I think, or laughing. I can't read that. What did you think of the Batman? I've not seen it. I know people will be shocked by this, but as far as Batman is concerned, I am strictly Adam West. I will see it at some point. I just haven't done so yet. 80s cartoons and live action shows have the best themselves. One notable aspect of 80s cartoons was they all had catchy, recognizable theme tunes. Yes, they did. Definitely waiting on mask reissues. We live in hope. Yeah, I really don't know what the delay is. The Empire Strikes Back would not stay a secret today. No, it would not. Well, they kept Grogu quiet on Mandalorian, so that was something of a surprise. And I guess Luke Skywalker appearing in Mandalorian was also pretty well kept out of public domain. So yeah, they have managed, but yeah, I know exactly what you mean though. 80s adverts were like short films. The Turkish Delight commercial was memorable. Yes, they absolutely were. There were so many great commercials. Top 10 80s commercials coming soon as well. Hong Kong Phooey, yep, he was in the filing cabinet, wasn't he? Charlton and the Wheelies were another favorite of mine. I also like one called Wonder Wheels, which was like a goofy guy on a clapped out motorbike. he would say one Wonder Wheels, and it would become this like real slick racing machine. I definitely enjoyed that one. I have a few G1 Jetfires, two of them. Let me send one to you over the coming. Oh, that's far too kind of you. That is very kind. It's in the box and white. You see, that's the thing. That's the problem with Jetfire, because he's yellows so easily. And as I said last week, and I'm going to recap that short clip again in a few days, was the fact that mine was kept under my bed for about 17 years, so it didn't see any light whatsoever. And someone got it for the best price ever. 80s cartoons, Thundercats, He-Man, and Dungeons and Dragons. Yep, all fantastic suggestions there. It would mean a lot to see you review. I don't need to. It's greedy. Oh, I would love to do a review for you. That is incredibly kind of you. And on the topic of kindness, good Lord, Tree Theodore, thank you so much. Unbelievably kind of you. And you're saying, great job on your orchestral and metal versions of the Batman theme on your tour collection video. You guys are awesome for sharing his publication. Well, thank you so much. Yeah, I did record a metal version of the Batman theme, but it was just too long to use as an intro on the collection video. So I put that out as a separate video. The orchestral one that's done very low in the mix, maybe I'll put that out as well. It's just a few bars of the Batman theme orchestral style, just to have something in the background. Jason says the 80s Cadbury's Flake was Yes, it was. It was quite an erotic advert. Even as a kid, we were slightly turned on by it. Anyone remember the BBC version of the Triffids? Yep, the Day of the Triffids. It was Thursday nights. It terrified. Oh, yeah. Again, it's another one. I was thinking about a video talking about shows that terrified us as kids, and that was definitely one of them. That, along with the tripods, was quite scary. It's not kind. You've done a lot for us all through your channel. Oh, thank you. That's very nice of you to say that. Let's remedy that and close the issue. Well, thank you. Very kind. Emperor Strikes Back would not stay a secret. Nope. A nice one, TT. Yes, indeed. Do I get your address from Twitter? Well, you can contact me on Twitter or on YouTube. On the About page, there's a link to an email that you can definitely contact me on. So again, thank you very much for that. Haha. My friend's sister was in a Flake advert. Very naughty. Yeah. Great ads indeed. And Doogie Williams did the music for so many great 80s cartoons in Dungeons. So D&G, what's Dungeons? What the hell is D&G? Spider-Man, etc. His music was incredible. Yes. Anyone remember Chalky? Yep, Chalky was an ITV. That was like the alien kid, wasn't it? I don't necessarily remember that one too much. I was always on children's BBC, but on a similar vein, the boy from space was quite terrifying, and they made us watch that in school, which was quite something. We're at an hour and 25, and I am absolutely dying to use the bathroom. I do want to give it a nice finish up here, so I'm going to quickly put this on pause, and I'll come back in under a minute, I hope. And I'm going to mute the microphone so you don't hear me peeing, but we'll come back and we'll close things up. But I really do appreciate everyone's patience with me this evening, so I'll be right back, I promise. Okay, apologies for that. That was a big wee right there. And let me get back to the comments, and then we can wrap it up. But my God, there's a lot of comments. What's going on here? Yorkie, not for girls. Never see these things like this these days. No, sadly not. Who also remembers hedgehog flavored crisps? I'm sure that was going to upset some of the PETA folks. Oh yeah, Look and Read series, Boy from Space. Yep, I did a video on that, I think a year or so back. Quite popular. People remembered it and they were terrified by it. Anyone remember Dark Towers? The tall knight was so scary back in the day. Yeah, that was also part of the same Look and Read. They had ghosts in that castle as well. Terrified us as kids, and the fact that it was part of the school curriculum was quite something. Chalky was very creepy. The opening theme gave me the creeps. Yeah, I remember that. It was the night. Yeah, we knew what you meant, Monkey Boy. At Dark Towers, yes, the tall knight was David Prowse. Wouldn't surprise me. He was also the Green Cross Code Man, which I never quite understood when my mum said, that's Darth Vader. I said, how's that Darth Vader? But I think the boy from space was from Look and Read along with Dark Towers. Yep, you are absolutely correct. Why does no one talk about Alice Cooper and associated albums? Dean's gone full rock recently, and Poison never gets. Oh yeah, Poison is fantastic. And believe it or not, Alice Cooper was kind of on my mind this morning. I was thinking about Nita Strauss, thinking how hot. I think she's. It's funny because this is going to sound terrible. I've never been a fan of female guitar players. I don't know why, but her, I do like her. Seen Alice Cooper a few times actually, once or twice headlining, but also opening for Iron Maiden and Motley Crue in recent years. You made me realize nothing lasts forever, so me and my kid bang out Kenner figures and play like I'm a kid again. My kid also has a Star Wars Kenner collection of his own. That is fantastic. U2 seemed to be big in the 80s too. Yes, they were. Although I think in terms of what Britain enjoyed the most, maybe I'm wrong on this, but I always felt it was things like Duran Duran, Culture Club, Spandau Ballet. Those were the big ones. And for whatever reason, U2 didn't quite get to that level. But in the 90s onwards, U2 surpassed all of those bands. Loved The Boy from Space. Still show my class Dark Towers. They love that. And Box of Delights. Oh, I remember Box of Delights. Now, that was shown at Christmas time, I believe, because I remember the young lad was waiting for Santa to come, and he got his Christmas stocking, and there were one or two bits in it, and I just thought it was quite a romantic type thing set. Was it like set at the turn of the century or something? But yeah, that was very enjoyable. Yeah, Look and Read. Box of Delights was quite unsettling. Yeah, it was. U2 were and are massive still. Bono was a clown, though. This coming from an Irishman. Yeah. Can you do a stream on missed 80s rock? All about obvious Metallica, but Judas Priest, Alice Cooper. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Judas Priest in the 80s. What was that? Like Turbo Lover. Love Dark Towers. It's all on YouTube. Words Work, Magic E. There was something very unsettling out the theme to Picture Box. It rings a bell, but I'm not entirely sure. I'm wrong, just checked. The Tall Knight was Peter Mayhew. Okay, well, you were very close. What's the difference between Bono and Jesus? Jesus doesn't actually think he's Bono. That's quite good. Entertainment. Oh yeah, I'm watching that tonight. Good stuff. Tales of the Unexpected, another great TV theme. Yes, it began in 79, but the other 8 were aired in the 80s. Now, that was the one with the sexy dancing lady on this. I forget what you call that contraption that gave the illusion of motion, but I think that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, Box of the Lights ran up to Christmas Eve. Yeah, man, what a time to be a kid in the build up to Christmas. Give anything to experience that again. Great live stream, Dean. Hope you have an excellent trip away and can chill out once and all the jobs are done. Night to all the excellent folks in the chat, and hit like on the way out. Well, thank you, Ben, and that's very kind of you. Let's see. Got one or two coming through, then we can wrap it up. That's the one, Dean. Anyway, see, you've been talking for a long time and probably tired. Thanks for giving the time, Dean. Oh, you're welcome. I'll set you up with a Jetfire. Well, thank you so much. That is just unbelievably generous of you. That's what makes these things fun. Well, thank you. Honestly, thank you so much. What was that Australian show where someone kept putting snakes in people's beds? Oh, don't remember that one. Oh, Darth Wizzy Wizard, hello to you as well. Talking, not taking. No, we knew what you meant. Take care, Ben. Yep. I think we're almost caught up. Yeah, I got to get myself organized, deal with that mess, and get ready to head out tomorrow. I hope I can sleep well because, like I said, I let myself or I let anxiety take over, and I end up being in a real state of just absolute nervousness. And until I'm through security and sitting at the airport bar, I'm not at all at ease. So hopefully we'll be okay tomorrow and I can document everything and share it all. Great stream, Dean. It's been like having a chat in a pub with a load of like-minded people. Awesome. I'm glad you think that way because that's what it's all about. You too, Gerard. Lovely folks. I rebooted the intro outro of Tales of the Unexpected on my channel. It's way sexy. Okay, I'm going to check that out. Monkey Boy, have an amazing time. Don't get all shook up. I'll see myself out. Awesome. Thank you so much. So there we go. Hour and 35. My God, that's way longer than I thought this would run for. Thank you, everyone who tuned in for this. Thank you to Tree Theodore for his generous super chat, and Andrew for his incredibly generous offer. Morphin Martian, I cannot sleep the night before I'm traveling anywhere. Me too. It just anxiety is one of the worst things you can suffer from. It really is horrible. Hey, Monkey Boy from Darth Wizzy Wizard, and night, Monkey Boy's Toys. Night, okay, night, everybody. Again, thank you all for tuning in. I apologize for not having a real plan for this. It was very last minute. I almost didn't go ahead and do it in the first place. I was very conscious of the fact that I couldn't drink a lot of ale because I have to be on my best behavior to get up early tomorrow. Thank you all. Amazing time as always. Thank you. Well, thank you, Gerard. See you, Dean. Thank you, Darth Wizzy Wizard. All right. Thank you, everybody. Oh, we've got one more. Impromptu is good. Yes, it is. All right. See you this time, same time next week for a more structured and more sort of normal type of live stream. No need to apologize, Darth Wizzy Wizard. We got some nice emojis there. So anyway, thank you, everyone. Oh, see you, Dean. See you, chat people. Yes, see you next week. Same time, same channel, all that good stuff. And thank you all for tuning in. I really do appreciate people watching this. I don't know why people want to see me yabber on, but apparently they do, and that makes me feel good. So that's all very positive. So thank you all. Please do hit the like button, and as it says right here, smash the smash the like. Oh my, I see. Okay, we got some emojis coming in from Mrs. 88. I don't know what they are. I don't know. Also, why is StreamYard so far behind the YouTube feed? There we go. We got some emojis. Okay, I'll see you later. Have a great day at Grace. Well, thank you, Brian. What happened to the sweets that look like cigarettes? Yeah, they got outlawed, sadly. I guess they still sell them as candy sticks. But anyway, have to run. Thank you, everybody, and we'll see you again next week.